Greetings from high above Grand Park overlooking scenic Westfield. It's my solution to question 8.31a. Well, guys, you need to know your conditions for using binomial probabilities and using a binomial model. So here they are. You need to have two outcomes, success and failure. Number two, you need to have a fixed number of trials. Number three, you need to have a probability of success that is fixed. It does not change from trial to trial. And then lastly, number four, you have to believe that your trials are all independent of one another. So whether or not you have a success or a failure in one trial, that does not impact the outcome of the next trial. So in question 8.31a, your job is to determine whether or not this field goal setting is a binomial setting. Let me read it. A National Football League kicker has made 80% of his field goal attempts in the past. This season, he attempts 20 field goals. The attempts differ widely in distance, angle, wind, and so on. So is this a reasonable situation in which we could calculate the likelihood of making certain counts of field goals? Could we calculate that using binomial probabilities? So condition one, two outcomes. Yes, we make or miss the field goal. So there are two outcomes. So is there a fixed number of trials? Yes, there are 20 trials. So that is fixed. So question number three, is there a fixed probability of success? So here's the first issue. I would offer, not being a field goal kicker, but watching plenty of football, I would offer that there is a big difference between kicking a field goal from the 5-yard line versus kicking a field goal from the 35-yard line. So even though 80% of field goals may have been made in the past, the truth is that the likelihood of making field goals from different distances is very likely different. So we don't have a fixed probability of success. That probability depends on the distance. Indeed, it may depend on weather conditions. It might depend on what hash mark we happen to be kicking from. Are we kicking from the center of the field, etc. So we don't have a fixed probability of success. That's what we call P. So that's the first problem. Also, I'm not sure that the trials are independent. Likely not. So here's the thing. You may have heard this phrase, icing the kicker. You have field goal kickers that come up, and before they kick the field goal, someone will call timeout real quick, and then they'll have to come out and try kicking the field goal again. So if they miss that field goal, what if they try another field goal? Having missed one, will that, when the game is on the line, impact whether or not they are able to make or miss the second field goal or not? I would offer that, well, at least some coaches, I believe, and certainly some fans believe that you can, quote, get inside of a kicker's head. My guess is that kickers would say that they have ways of preventing that. So regardless, though, I'm not sure that we can consider the trials independent. And no matter how you argue that, it doesn't really matter because the conditions already are not met. So you can just stick with this part if you want to. You don't have a fixed probability of success. That issue in number three, that's good enough. Whether or not you believe the trials are independent, that probability of success is underneath all of this, probably the fundamental issue here. So I would offer we can't model this binomially. Make sure you know your four conditions.